All right, so you got your Fujifilm camera and you're looking to start recording some videos, and you've come across that setting, or you've heard about FLog or log footage, and you're not really sure what it's for or how to use it. So in this video, I'm going to try to walk you through what is FLog and when to use it, and as well as some little tips. But first, let me go get a coffee. All right, I'm good now. So what is FLog or log footage? Well, log footage allows you to record very flat looking footage so that you get the maximum flexibility when you get into post. So it's going to be a very dull and flat image, no real colors. You won't see a lot of contrast either, but that will give you the maximum dynamic range you can get. Now, log footage is very useful if you're working on a production with different brands of cameras. If every camera is recording in log, you will have a very flat image and it will be easier to match them together afterwards. Now, using log can be very beneficial as well if you're shooting in high contrast scenes where you have very bright, highlights and very dark shadows. That way you're going to get more, again, dynamic range in your shot, and you're more likely to be able to recover it. Now, FLog is recorded in Rec 2020 or BT 2020, which basically gives you more information, more colors are recorded, therefore more flexibility when color grading. Now, things to consider when you're shooting in log is that you won't really see your white balance, so you have to make sure that you tune in the right white balance, because if you're simply looking at your LCD at the very flat image, you won't be able to see the white balance, and once you get back to editing, you can come up with very unpleasant surprises. Now, another thing to consider when working with log is that you're going to have more work to do. You're going to have a lot of color grading to do, whereas if you're recording, for example, with the film simulation, you basically have a ready to go image. The colors are there. If you shot it properly, you won't have too much to do. Maybe play a little bit with the contrast, but that would be it. But with log, you need to bring back all these colors. Now, a few tips if you want to go and play with FLog is that you can actually, on the latest Fujifilm cameras, you can use the FLog assist. The easy way to use it is to assign it to a function button. So if you don't know how to do that, simply press on the display back button on the camera, hold it for a few seconds, then you'll see a diagram, and then you choose the button you want, and then you assign the FLog assist to it. Now, when you'll be recording, you can toggle on and off that preview, and then that preview will basically give you a Rec 709, which is sort of a standard output preview of your footage. So it will still record a very flat image, but what you'll see on your LCD will be a standard output. So I highly recommend doing that if that option is available on your camera. Now, if you're using an external recorder like the Atomos Ninja 5, for example, you can load Luts onto the recorder. So simply take your LUT files you want to have in previews and then bring it onto the SSD for the Atomos. And then once you get there, you can use these to preview your output. Now, when we get to the editing part, using LUTs to delog our footage is a common practice. Now, there are a lot of LUTs available, from creative ones to technical ones. So creative ones will give you a different look, some exaggerated colors or something like that. And then you have some more technical LUTs that will basically just bring back the colors to a standard output. And then from there, you can make further adjustments to make it either natural or, create your own style. I like to use Fujifilm LUTs. So on the Fujifilm firmware website, you can go onto the LUT for FLog section, and from there you can download the full package of LUTs for each different cameras. And then in these folders, you will see different LUT files that you can use. Now, the one I prefer to use whenever using log is the FLog to Eterna. Now, if you're working in Premiere, you will go into the Lumetri panel. That's where you will be able to apply the LUT. If you're working in Final Cut, you will need to go into the effects panel, look for custom LUT, and then you can apply it to your clip and then find the appropriate LUT file. Now, in the folder you download with all the LUT files, you will see a document that will explain each and every LUT files and how they affect your clips. Now, again, like I said, I like to use the Eterna for my base grade, but you can experiment with the different ones and see which ones you like best. So to wrap this up, using log footage is very useful if you, again, want to mix and match different cameras, but also if you just want more flexibility in terms of color grading. Now, I personally like to use the quick 4K method, which consists of using the film simulation. I like to use Eterna, and then that way I just bring it in my editor and then make some basic adjustment. But if I do have a very high contrast scene, I wouldn't hesitate to switch to FLog to make sure I capture all the details in both the highlights and the shadows. All right, so I hope that helped if you were wondering about FLog or log footage in general. And if you want to see more content like this and you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below. Now go out and try to shoot some log footage.